So at 7:46 a.m., our officers responded to multiple calls for service for armed people, for an armed person, for shots being fired. 2 minutes later, the first RPD officer arrived on scene and discovered an adult male suffering from a very serious gunshot wound to the torso. He was immediately taken to VCU Medical Center, and unfortunately, about an hour later, he passed away and was declared deceased. So at this time, we're asking for help from the community, looking for one male suspect. It's a black male wearing sunglasses with a short beard, black shoes, blue jeans, and wearing a very distinctive black and white hooded jacket. So he was last seen walking westbound on Broad Street. At this time, our detectives are canvassing the scene. We're talking to witnesses. We're pulling the multitude of video cameras and looking around for that. But we're asking the community if they see anything suspicious or see this male to call 911, to not approach him, to immediately call 911, and our officers will be responding. Chief McKay, do you have anything you want to add to what happened at the General Assembly?
Sure, Chief. Thank you. Good morning. We're working with the City of Richmond to assist in their investigation with the shooting this morning. We have staff that are helping to canvass the area, pull video footage, but also collect any witness statements from state employees and so forth. As the Chief said, I would encourage any of our state employees who may have seen what occurred this morning to reach out to provide information that they may have with relation to this particular incident. We did restrict access to state facilities this morning shortly after the incident while we were determining the best course of action to ensure the safety of both the state employees and visitors to the seat of state government. Here shortly, when the scene opens up, we will reopen facilities with some restrictions in place so that work can continue.
I'm happy to answer any questions.
Chief, has next of kin been notified?
No, we're in the process of doing that. So we'll be releasing more information later. Once that happens, we'll be releasing the name of our victim.
Was it just one person were the two people at the bus stop and a fight broke out, or was it the victim there, suspect walks up, shoots, and goes away?
We're still investigating that. It appears they had a brief interaction before the shooting occurred. There were other people out there that we're interviewing at this time, so it wasn't like one-on-one, if that's your question.
Gotcha. My desk had said that apparently there might be a threat alert down on 1000 East Main Street near the courts building. Is that anything related to this? Do you know?
We believe it's tangentially related. A person called 911 saying they heard about this shooting. That was misinterpreted to be an active shooter at that location. We have cleared that, and it is not a valid call for service. Yeah, okay. So it obviously prompted a big response, but it was not an active shooter.
I think I saw VCU police here as well.
Yes, VCU was critical. They were on scene within minutes, and obviously VCU was able to provide very valuable camera footage early on.
And anything else you can add, Phil, we haven't touched on right now?
I think we'll have more to say later. We may be putting out more information about the suspect at this time. We would just ask the community if they have any information to please share that with us. Also, another question we've already gotten that I can address now is City Hall is closed today for National Women's Day, so we didn't have to put it on lockdown. There were no folks inside City Hall at the time of this incident.
And Chief, I'll just ask you, I know you've raised concerns about gun violence in the city. I know one of the things you've talked a lot about is, block switches. One of the things I know you've talked about, we've got General Assembly session, 2 days left here. A numerous number of gun control bills have gone to the desk of Governor Youngkin. I guess you speak to that, just the timing and the place of all this?
Well, obviously, the fact that this took place on Broad Street created it's a higher profile incident than it would have been if it was 3 blocks north. So, but one thing I'll say about gun violence is there are people that are settling disputes with firearms that should be fistfights. I've said that again and again, but when you have individuals who are walking around with firearms and they get into a dispute, it no longer turns into a punch, it turns into a shot, and that's what we saw here today, which cost a man his life.
Just to confirm the exact location of their inhabitant, was that bus stop, area of the bus stop?
It was underneath the bus stop behind me. So where you see the forensic technicians over there, well, they're wrapping up.
Will lawmakers be using the underground tunnel today as a precaution, or will they still be going in between buildings outside? Is there a determination made on that?
So access to and from our facilities can resume in any fashion that they determine is most appropriate. We will not be putting we won't be putting restrictions in place with regard to whether they use the tunnel or traverse across the square. We'll have a visual increase in uniformed law enforcement in the area to reassure their safety and so forth. Yes.
So one last thing I'd like to ask. So the lead investigator in this case is going to be Detective Godwin. His office number is 804-646-5533. And obviously anyone can call anonymously at Crime Stoppers at 804-780-1000.